G'day, I'm Paul. Mazda has rolled out a new infotainment system called MZD-Connect in the new Mazda 3, but some of the older cars use MZD-Connect. Today I'm going to take you through a detailed review of MZD-Connect in the CX-9, but functionality is the same as you'll find in other Mazdas. This one here is a 9-inch unit. If you want to have a look at some of our other infotainment reviews, you can click on the playlist up there, or just explore the rest of our channel. We've got some really great car reviews and drag races and a whole bunch of other content. Here is the infotainment review we filmed earlier. MZD-Connect, when it comes to infotainment systems, this is one of the oldest systems on the market because a lot of manufacturers will update their infotainment systems as they go. This has been around for a long time. All they've done here in the CX-9, instead of going to the new infotainment system that we've seen in the Mazda CX-3, this infotainment system still has the old system on a bigger screen. So this is a 9-inch screen. And the big difference here between MZD-Connect and Mazda's all-new infotainment system is that MZD-Connect is still a touchscreen only when the car is stationary. So you can see if I click here on apps, and I'll walk you through all the menus, it is still a touchscreen. Or you can use the dials down here with shortcut buttons around the edges, including a favorite button, which you can set in the infotainment system as well. Now, the interesting parts here on the apps section are that you can select Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. That's now standard. And did you know that if you have an older version of MZD-Connect, you can actually retrofit Apple CarPlay and Android Auto through the dealer for a small fee? And I'd love to see in the comments below, have you had that done? Did it work well? How much did you pay? Let us know. Back to here, you can see all of the information about IE Loop. We'll discuss that a bit more when we go for a drive, but this is where you can see how much energy you've saved while you've been driving. You've also got a vehicle status monitor. This completes all the sections to do with the car's warnings and also maintenance. So maintenance will show you when your service intervals are due, and then the warnings will show any warnings that have appeared on the car, and it will store those here if you ever need to go back to the dealership and have them check on things. Let's jump over to the entertainment menu. Now, this is one of my least favorite things about MZD-Connect. When you hop into the car, it's quite difficult to go through these menus and to select different radio stations. It comes with FM, AM, and DAB digital radio. With DAB, there's so many stations to choose from that when you click on the station list, you just scroll for hours and hours until you find what you want. So let's say we want that station just there. Instead of now being able to simply go back to that exact spot where we were, it takes me back to the top of the list, and then I have to scroll again. So if you do flick through radio stations a lot, which is something that I'm known to do, it takes you forever to find what you need unless you want to save them as favorites. And again, there's so many there that saving them as favorites takes forever. Along the bottom here, you do have your favorites menu, and as you scroll along, you can scan, skip ahead, also set your bass, treble, and that kind of thing. This is all fairly intuitive and straightforward and easy to use. Higher end cars in the Mazda range with the MZD-Connect system come with a Bose sound system, and in there you can configure extra things like center point, audio pilot, and then also where you're getting guidance volume, how loud it is, and that kind of thing. If we jump back over to the nav menu, it's not amazing, again, because it is a little difficult to use while you're on the move. You have to go through, find an address. Everything takes a little bit of time to type it in. And again, this is kind of pointless when you're on the move. Even your passenger can't type things in here because the touchscreen doesn't work while the car's moving. You do have the ability to use a voice recognition system. That tends to work okay, but as you get to use it more and more in its functionality, it becomes harder and harder to use, and it becomes a little more counterintuitive. It doesn't pick up voice commands very well, and sometimes it does things that you don't ask it to do. So the way to overcome that is to pair your phone with smartphone mirroring, and then a long hold then activates the smartphone voice recognition system, which uses the cloud, and it's far easier and far more precise as well. But for the most part, this is where all your navigation is. And here you'll also have things like traffic. You'll be able to see which roads are congested. It will tell you which way to go instead. Different modes here as well in terms of the views. You can go from 2D to 3D, but it's not a very high resolution screen, and it doesn't really look as fancy as some of the other cars in this segment. As we go back to the main menu there, you also have settings. This is where you can change everything for the car. You've also got control over all your Bluetooth connections here, because of course you can use Bluetooth for phone and also streaming audio and music and that kind of thing. In here, you've also got all your settings for sensing wipers, how long the lights stay on, door locks, GPS syncing for the clock in the car, which is a very handy thing to have. You always know that it's going to be correct and in the correct time zone as well. If you found this video useful, I'd love it if you could please press like and also subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon that's going to tell you every single time we publish some new content. And as always, we would love your feedback, so leave us any comments you have below. Have you used MZD-Connect? What do you think about it, and do you think it could be better? But until next time, take it easy.